Thank you for tuning into HardNews TV4. I'm your host, Terry Lynn, and this is the channel where truth is like archaeology, and every day we're digging for it. Today is October 24th, 2020, and this is my top 10 for today. Now, I purposely had the headlines hid on this because I didn't want y'all to read ahead of me. But look at this. So this is article number 1. COVID, the virus, is pushing Americans to want more government involvement in their lives. They're clamoring for the government to rescue them and give them the solution. As millions of Americans deal with the virus infection, millions more struggle through the pandemic's economic impact. A survey taken during the height of the health crisis finds the virus may have pushed more people to want government to play a bigger role in their lives. Researchers in Maryland say the number of people wanting sweeping changes in government policy skyrocketed as the virus spread. This is why I call it a plandemic. It was the Great Reset. It's to get us all in our place, society in their place, to obey the government who's holding the carrot to tell them we'll take care of you if you do what we say. It's not going to happen. Now wait till you see these next articles. Now, before I even show y'all the article, the first thing I noticed about Joe Biden was how black his eyes look. And he's looking more and more creepy Joe. I ain't calling him Sleepy Joe. He's Creepy Joe. Okay, so when I looked up black eyes and demons, now turned into supernatural demon with black eyes effect. Demonology, black-eyed demons are constantly being created, and they occupy positions on earth. Why are demons portrayed as having black eyes? Black absorbs more light. Devil eyes. Now look, this is what I wanted y'all to see. Devil eyes was a secret psychological warfare. Now let's click on it and read this. And then we're going to get back to that article. But Devil Eyes was a secret psychological warfare program in 2005 and 2006 by the United States CIA to develop an Osama bin Laden action figure and distribute it to South Asia. Okay, so the U.S. government, the CIA intelligence community, was developing a bin Laden doll for psychological warfare. Now let's look up what psychological warfare is so we don't get confused on our definition. Psychological operations are operations to convey selected information and indicators to audiences that influence their emotions, their motives, their objective reasoning, and ultimately the behavior of governments and groups and individuals. So the U.S. government solicited the help of a toy maker to run a psyop against the people in Asia. You don't think this is a psyop being run on us? If they went through the effort of making a doll to turn people against Osama bin Laden, that you don't think that they are running a psyop on us? It says the CIA worked in conjunction with toy maker Donald Levin, a former Hasbro executive who had been credited as the father of G.I. Joe toys. Levin designed a 12-inch lifelike figure of bin Laden whose face was painted with material that, when heated, would peel off to reveal a demon-like visage with red skin, green eyes, and black markings. The goal of the program was to scare the children and their parents in an effort to turn public opinion against the real bin Laden. Now, this is what I want y'all to see. The goal of the program, the virus, was to scare the population in an effort to turn them against the old New World, the old order, into the New World Order, to get them to want more government involvement in their life. That's the goal. I'm telling y'all, this is a psyop. And the goal is to have us begging for more government input and overreach into our lives. Okay, so now we're at article number 2 from yesterday from CNN. Dr. Fauci says it might be time to mandate masks as the virus surges across the United States. Federal mandate of the mask. Federal mandate. Dr. Fauci has been reluctant to support a federal mask mandate. A national mandate probably would not work, he said on September 15th during a news conference. Fauci, the director of the National Institute of Allergy, who works for Bill Gates, who is on the Bill and Melinda Gates board, has been urging Americans to use masks for months. I have trust in the American people that if we put a strong emphasis on the importance of wearing masks, that we will come around and do that and get that percentage up above the relatively low percentage of people that are using masks. But yet, remember, he was seen at the baseball game laughing it up and not having a mask on. This part says, I don't like the authoritarian from the government, federal government, but at the local level, if governors and others essentially mandate the use of masks when you have an outbreak, I think that would be very important, he told Alabama Senator Doug Jones during a Facebook Live event in July. Until now, well, if people are not wearing masks, then maybe we should be mandating it. So, y'all pay attention to what might be coming. Now remember, the first article says COVID has led people to want more government in their lives. And this article is from yesterday from the AP. Spain's prime minister appeals for public unity, sacrifice in this virus fight. Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez appealed Friday for Spaniards to pull together and to defeat the new coronavirus, warning the situation is serious. Sanchez, in a televised address to the nation, acknowledged public fatigue with the restrictions to contain the spread of the virus. But he added, we have to step up the fight with more limits on people's movements that will demand more sacrifices. More limits on your ability to move around and more sacrifices at the feet of Moloch, or however some people say different, Moloch. We have to sacrifice to the feet of the government for our own good and let them restrict how we move around. Continuing with the government locking you down and federal mandates and restricted movements, and the government needs more control in your lives. This is from Reuters from yesterday. World Health Organization's Tedros says countries on dangerous track in this pandemic. The world is now at a critical juncture with the virus, and some countries are on a dangerous path. And look at this. He said countries should take action to limit the spread of the virus quickly, improving testing, tracing of contacts of those infected, and isolation of those at risk spreading the virus would enable countries to avoid mandatory lockdowns. Y'all, the next thing to happen is you shall be handed over. Matthew 24, wars, rumors of wars, pestilence, famines, and earthquakes. And then you shall be handed over. So I'm seeing the re-education camps opening to quarantine us, to isolate us. Article number 5, Bank of America, the Federal Reserve will use digital dollars to unleash inflation, universal basic income, and debt forgiveness. Okay? In short, we laid out the Fed's true reasoning behind the coming digital dollars, not as how Fed Chair Powell recently described them, which, as a reminder, was as follows: faster and cheaper transactions, addressing the decline in the use of physical currency, modernizing the payments of infrastructure, reaching consumers who have been traditionally underserved by financial institutions. Okay. So our old system is going to fail, okay? It's going to fail, and they're going to bring in the digital dollar. And let me show you the basic income. It just said the basic income. And the debt forgiveness, y'all, is going to come if you agree to go along and play along with their little game that they want to play. Well, look at the universal income experiment in article number 6. Okay, so this was September 28, 2020, but I just recently heard it's going to be done somewhere else. But I wanted to show y'all this in here. A radical free money experiment became vital when the virus hit. So this is from Bloomberg Business Week. In California, the city of Stockton is running the first American basic income trial in decades, getting people more dependent on the government to take care of them, but the carrot has chains on it. Okay, so they're guaranteed to receive an income of $500 a month for 18 months. But what's the trade-off? The trade-off is they're monitoring you and what you're doing with that information. Information about how the cash was spent isn't yet available, but of the money that was tracked, people typically spent 40% on food each month and only 2% on self-care or recreation. So the government is giving you money and they're tracking you and watching you how you're going to spend it. Oh, but what was the first article? People want the government more in their business. Do y'all see this? I don't want the government knowing if I'm eating peanut butter and jelly or bologna today. They don't need to know my business. And article number 7, no matter who you're voting for, government overreach wants to expand. Joe Biden says that if he's elected, he will mandate masks in your car. Democrat presidential candidate Joe Biden on Friday said he would mandate masks in all interstate U.S. transportation if elected after the Trump administration rejected the requirements. As president, this is Joe Biden, I will mandate mask wearing in all federal buildings and all interstate transportation because mask saves lives, period. Biden said in a speech in Delaware. Wearing masks is not a political statement. It is a scientific imperative. So now you won't even be able to drive on interstate highways without a mask on in your own car. I don't want more government in my life. I'm not clamoring, give me my money, Mr. Government, and I'll wear your mask. Give me your government, Mr. Government, and I'll let you watch how I spend it and what I eat. This is just too much. Okay, let's go on to article number 8. Now, why does article number 8, hold your ears, piss me off? Because I'm going to tell you. Dutch hospital airlifts patients to Germany amid the virus concern. So air travel is good now. You know, if you fly in yourself to another place, you're going to get quarantined for exposing everybody. But their Dutch airlifts a patient out of the country. Now, let's hear why. The Netherlands, a bright yellow helicopter rose into a blue sky Friday. That sounds like so elementary. A bright yellow helicopter rose into a bright blue sky Friday with rainbows and butterflies and birds singing, carrying a virus patient from the Netherlands to a German intensive care unit. The first such international airlift since the pandemic first threatened to swamp Dutch hospitals in the spring. Okay? So, what is this psyop? But let me show you why this upsets me. Y'all remember I just did this video a couple of days ago? Australia let 4 baby newborn children die because they could not fly from one province to another within Australia to give these babies heart surgeries to be able to live. But yet the Netherlands are going to do the first international flight because of the virus. But yet in Australia, they let 4 newborns die. It just makes me so mad. Y'all don't see how political this whole situation is? Okay, in article number 9, Is more prophecy being fulfilled? Did y'all see yesterday that Trump was on the phone with Benjamin Netanyahu, and the Sudan has formally recognized Israel in U.S. brokered peace deal? Sudan becomes the third predominantly Muslim country to recognize Israel in less than 2 months, joining the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain. So we are moving towards peace, peace. And when they say peace, peace, then suddenly destruction's about to come upon you. And the article number 10, you'll hear of wars and rumors of wars. And we've been talking about the interception of fighter jets between Russia and China and the United States. U.S. Marines are running island hopping exercises and practicing destroying missile sites over fears of a future war with China. So, earlier this month, U.S. Marines stationed in the Pacific practiced island hopping exercises. Okay? Now, while that's going on, this is what China is saying. Xi says war must be fought to deter violence, met with violence necessary. Chinese state media is widely circulating a new bellicose statement from President Xi Jinping made on a key Korean War anniversary for Beijing. Okay? So they're all preparing for war while the governments are shutting all of us down. Y'all please leave me your comments below and let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.